Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, today's story time, definitely a crazy one. I've been waiting to tell this one for a while now. It's definitely up there, one of the craziest stories I've ever told. And yeah, it's about the time that I almost died. And I'm not just being that YouTuber that's like, oh, I almost died, and I slipped on a fucking piece of bologna or something. Nah, this is some serious ass shit. And I think you guys will enjoy hearing about it. So today's story time all takes place in 2013. Now, in 2013, I was still a young kid. I was still in school. I was just doing my thing as Kid Luna did, which my daily routine consisted of getting up, getting out of bed, taking a shower, brushing my teeth, playing Xbox all day, hanging out with my friends. And I wasn't even doing YouTube at this time. I didn't start doing YouTube until 2014. So in 2013, I really wasn't doing anything. I was just going to school. That was pretty much it. With the occasional, getting in trouble here and there and hanging out with my friends pretty often. And today's story time involves a friend that I was hanging out with back in the day. So hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a like in the video if you do, and let's start this. So today's story time all takes place in 2013. I was on Christmas break, so I was off of school for a week or two, and I was just enjoying my break. I was playing a bunch of MW2. I was just hanging out at my house, not really doing a whole lot other than enjoying video games. And one night, I'm just sitting in my room, playing some COD, and I get a text message. Let's just call this friend that texted me Corey, okay? Corey texts me. He's like, yo, man, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, I'm just playing MW2 right now. What about you? He's like, same here. You want to play? I was like, yeah, for sure. So he gets on Xbox. Me and him are playing COD together. And within like an hour of playing, we both get pretty burnt out. And Corey's like, yo, man, do you want to just come hang out at my house? Like, I'm pretty bored of playing video games. I was like, yeah, man, why not? So I get up. I go in my mom's room. I was like, Ma, can you drop me off at Corey's house? And she's like, yeah, for sure. How long are you going to stay there for? I was like, probably just the night. She's like, okay, let me know. So me and my mom get in her car after I packed my bag, and we go to Corey's house. Now, one thing about Corey's house that I have to mention, he lived in a pretty bad neighborhood. And I don't say that lightly. Like, his neighborhood was one of the worst neighborhoods you could live in my hometown. Like, after 9 p.m., people were always just chilling on that street, doing drug deals. There were shootings and shit. You're probably like, dude, why'd your mom leave you there if it was so dangerous? My mom didn't really know about how dangerous it was, and I didn't really know yet either. But after this night, I learned pretty quickly. So I get to Corey's house, my mom drops me off, she tells me to call her whenever I need to get picked up. I was like, alright, I will, love you, see you later. She drives away, I go into Corey's house, I say what up to Corey, and I sit down on his couch, and we immediately just start playing Halo. Like, we were sick of video games, but we had nothing else to do, so we're just playing some Halo. And we wanted to go outside and, explore, but we couldn't do that because it was already nighttime. And his parents would not let us go outside at nighttime. We didn't really understand that at the time because we thought that we were old enough to handle anything. But now that I look back on it, I know why his parents were keeping us inside. So fast forward a couple hours later, we get real bored of playing video games. We don't know what to do. And his parents went to bed. So me and Corey are just kind of sitting there on the couch, bored with nothing to do. And Corey is texting someone. I could see him on his phone just texting away. And I was like, who you texting? He's like, I'm texting my homie Chris. I was like, oh, who's Chris? He's like, he's my neighbor. He lives right across the street. He wants to hang out. I was like, oh, cool. Is he going to come over? And he's like, he wants us to come over there. I was like, all right, cool. So me and Corey decide to sneak out of his parents' house in the middle of the night to go across the street and hang out with Corey's friend Chris. And we get to Chris's house, and we walk in, and Chris was home alone. So it was literally just me, Chris, and Corey in this big-ass house by ourselves. And it was kind of a creepy house, can't lie. It was really old. It kind of looked like the Monster House from that one movie. It was a little bit creepy. And about 30 minutes into being at Chris's house, I didn't really have a good feeling. I'm not some spiritual ass motherfucker. I don't see the future or anything. I don't know when something's going to go wrong. But I definitely had a gut feeling where I was like, okay, something seems odd about the situation right now. Chris told us that we were home alone at his house, but I kept hearing noises upstairs and things moving around. So I was really confused. And after one of the times, I was like, are you sure we're home alone? I hear someone upstairs. And Chris goes, I don't hear anything. And I look over at my friend Corey. I was like, yo, did you hear that? He's like, yeah, I did. And Chris is like, all right, hold up. Let me go investigate. Chris goes upstairs. And right after Chris goes upstairs, I hear multiple voices in one of the upstairs rooms. Through the ceiling, I can hear mumbling. So, there's clearly people upstairs talking. And I look over at Corey, and I'm like, yo, Chris is lying. People are here. He's like, yeah, but I don't think it's anyone that we have to worry about. I was like, bro, I have a bad feeling about this. Something just feels off. And Corey looks at me and he's like, do you want to bail? I was like, how long you known this Chris kid for? He's like, only a couple weeks. I was like, bro, honestly, I think we should just go back to your place. I'm kind of creeped out. Like, looking back on this situation, I wasn't even creeped out for a specific reason. It was just a combination of everything. Like, I didn't know this Chris dude. We were sneaking out in the middle of the night to meet up with him. His house was creepy as fuck. I was hearing noises. I heard voices upstairs. Clearly, Chris wasn't telling the truth about us being home alone. Like, I was just creeped out, genuinely. So I look at Corey, and I'm like, dude, yeah, we should bail. Let's go. And Corey's like, all right, man, let's do it. So we get up. We walk over to the front door. Corey opens up the front door. And as we're walking out, Corey pokes his head into the house and goes, Chris, we're leaving. We have to go. And he shuts the door, and we run across the street back to Corey's house. Now, as soon as we get into Corey's house, I turn around and I peek out one of the front windows, and I was looking across the street at Chris's house, and I see one of the scariest things I've ever fucking seen. I see 4 dudes walk out of the front door of Chris's house, the creepy house that we were just at. They walk out of the front door wearing black ski masks, and they have flashlights, and they are looking around the yard and looking across the street. And after they do that, they shine them at our house, at Corey's house, and they start walking towards the house. And I tap Corey on the shoulder. I'm like, bro, you have to look at this right now. Come here. And he runs over and he peeks through the window, and we see 4 dudes with flashlights getting closer and closer to Corey's house wearing masks. And as they get closer, I notice in one of their hands, one of them's holding some sort of weapon. It was like a black weapon. I don't know if it was a crowbar. I don't know if it was a gun. It was too far away to tell. But one of them had something in their left hand. And I look over at Corey and I'm like, bro, we need to fucking call the cops now. And Corey goes, okay, you call the cops. I'm locking the doors. So I run in the other room while I'm dialing 911. And Corey runs up to the door and locks it. I call up the cops. I'm like, there is people coming at our house right now. They got flashlights. They got masks on. I think they're about to hurt us or rob us. While I'm on the phone with the cops, Corey runs upstairs. He's pounding on his parents' door. He's like, guys, get up, get up. There's people outside with masks on. And I am just sitting there like, holy shit. I'm either about to end up getting kidnapped or I'm going to end up not alive by the end of the night. Like, I was terrified. And Corey's parents come running down the stairs with Corey. I'm still on the phone at this point with 911. They're already on the way, but I'm staying on the phone with them. But at this point, the guys with masks on and the flashlights are all surrounding the house already. There's one by the front door, pounding on the front door. There's one by the back door, hitting that door with his flashlight. There's 2 on each side of the house at each window. Like, it was really bad. We were surrounded. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, dude, what the fuck's about to happen? So one of them is literally smashing the back of his flashlight into the back door. I can see him doing it through the window on the door. And he's yelling, open the fucking door, Corey. Open the door. And that's when I realized, that's Chris. Like, one of the dudes in the masks was Chris. Because how else would he know Corey's name? And plus, they came walking out of Chris's house. Like, it was super obvious that it was Chris and his friends doing this. So after the dude at the back door yells Corey's name, he smashes out the window on the back door with his flashlight. And he starts reaching his arm into the house trying to unlock the back door. And the way the house was set up is the living room was in the front, and there was a long hallway that went right to the back door. So we were all just looking down this long hallway, watching this dude basically break into the house. We were also completely surrounded, so there was no way out. And as he's sticking his arm through the broken window, trying to unlock the door handle to get in the house, Chris's dad grabs a giant wooden stick. It was like a walking stick or something out of the closet and runs down the hallway to the back door and starts smacking him in the hand with a giant stick and just hitting him as hard as he can and gets his hands out from the door. Like, he was able to stop him from trying to unlock the door and break in. So right after that, literally right after his hands are out of the door and we're safe for a second, I see blue and red lights coming down the street out one of the windows, and immediately all the flashlights surrounding the house, all these people with masks on, run away. Just immediately they disappear. And the cops pull up, we hear yelling outside, we hear a bunch of screaming, we hear get down on the ground. Like, we're just freaking out. We don't know what's going on outside. We can't see. We don't want to go near the windows because there's people out there with weapons and shit. This whole time, I completely forget that I'm on the phone with 911 still, and I grab the phone and I'm like, hello, you guys still there? And the operator's like, yeah. I'm like, are you guys here? And she's like, yes. And right after I say that, I hear a knock on the front door and I hear, police. Right after the police knock, my friend's parents, Corey's parents, they walk over to the front door. They look through the peephole. They see that it's a police officer. They open the door and they start talking to this cop and basically giving them their full side of the story. Me and Corey also told them everything about how we snuck out to Chris's house and how Chris and his friends showed up with flashlights and a weapon afterwards and tried to break in. We just told them everything. And after we told the cop everything, he's like, well, not to worry, all 4 of them got caught and they're detained. And that weapon you were talking about, we got that as well. So after he tells us this, we're all so relieved and so happy. And Corey's parents look at me and Corey and they're like, all right, guys, like, thank you for helping. Thank you for telling the truth. You guys can go upstairs now. So we were basically sent upstairs to, let the parents talk to the cops or whatever. And we're up there for like an hour or two until they leave. And after the police left and they were all arrested and everything was all good, Corey's parents walked upstairs and they were like, yeah, thanks for being honest, guys. Never sneak out again. Please, for the love of fucking God, don't do that ever again. And I was like, you don't gotta worry about me doing that. And Corey's like, yeah, me neither. Fuck, I learned my lesson. And guess what? We also found out from Corey's parents that weapon that we saw in the dude's hand from far away, that we didn't know what it was a hunting rifle. That's what Corey's parents were told. So yeah, that's pretty scary. Luckily, the people in masks didn't use that on us, because that would have sucked. I definitely didn't want to die by being quickscoped. But yeah, after that, they got arrested and taken to the station, and a couple weeks later, they got charged, and their side of the story was they were trying to rob us. So yeah, they got charged with a bunch of stuff. Not even sure the exact charges. I just know all of them went to jail. One of them was Chris, by the way, that dude. So yeah, him and his friends went to jail, and we found out later on that their plan originally was to invite us over to Chris's house that night, and after we got there, surround us and rob us at Chris's house, and who knows what else, probably hurt us or something. So yeah, if I didn't get that gut feeling and we didn't escape when we did out of Chris's house back to Corey's, who knows what could have happened? Could have been a lot worse. And yeah, those voices that I was hearing upstairs while we were at Chris's house were the other 3 voices of the people that tried to break into Corey's house. So yeah, moral of the story is, just don't go sneaking around like we were in this story time, because it could have gone a lot worse. But yeah, guys, I thought the story time was an absolutely insane one. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
They leave me out for the dead, and now they know their fault. All my texts are